If you think your insurance premium is a fixed cost like your truck payment or your rent, you're walking into a financial trap. We recently saw a business owner get hit with a bill for $20,000 after his policy expired, all because he answered one question wrong on his audit paperwork. In this video, I'm sitting down with Stacey Langley to explain exactly how the general liability audit works. We're going to cover why 1099 subcontractors might actually be costing you a fortune and the specific documents that you need to have ready so that you don't get overcharged. If you plan on growing your business this year, you cannot afford to skip this conversation. Let's dive in. Okay, Stacey, a lot of times in the agency, we get a question of why am I being audited? The questions start like this, right? A client buys a policy, pays the premium, they think they're done. The insurance company will come back a year later and say, I want to look at their books. Why are they being audited?
That's a good question, Court, and I think I can help the clients understand that. When we write a general liability policy, we base a lot of the information we put into it based on estimates. So what happens is your sales and your payroll, they fluctuate throughout the year. So what the carrier's doing is they're taking your actual sales and payroll numbers at the end of the year and they're tuning that up so that they can appraise the appropriate cost due to your actual risk exposure versus an estimate.
So is my payroll or my gross sales sounds like it's just a projection then, right? So whatever I give you is what I think we're going to have.
Absolutely. We always want to try to get as close as possible because we want to avoid having a large audit bill at the end of that term.
I hear contractors say all the time, right? We get this call. I don't have any employees and I just have 1099 guys. Does the insurance auditor really take that into consideration?
That's a great question, Court. And 1099 contractors versus actual employees, insurance doesn't always look at them the same way the IRS does. So a 1099 sub that does not have their own certificate of insurance should be treated like an employee on your policy. You have to write the insurance in order to cover uninsured subcontractor costs. That's very important.
Right. So if they don't bring their own insurance, then basically I'm covering them anyway.
Yeah, absolutely. You're taking on that risk yourself by hiring them to do the job if they're an uninsured sub.
Would there be a best practice for me if I hire a sub that comes to me and doesn't have any insurance? Maybe.
Absolutely. I mean, always make sure that your policy has coverage for uninsured subcontractors. That's very important. If they do have insurance as well, you always want to make sure that they have you listed as additionally insured on their policy. Otherwise, you couldn't make a claim if they made a mistake on your job site.
Oh, then I would have to claim it on my own policy?
You would, if they didn't have their own certificate of insurance that lists you as additionally insured. So that's very important.
Which I guess that could potentially make my rate go up then, huh?
It will indeed make your rate go up because you're assuming the risk for your subcontractors as well.
I'd rather not have my rate go up based on somebody else's mistake. So I guess I better get certificates of insurance from them.
Best practice, get that certificate of insurance. Make sure you're additionally insured on their policy.
Absolutely. And keep it on file.
Absolutely.
So, when I go in and I tell my insurance agent, should I overestimate my sales just so I'm safe? Or should I underestimate them and then hold on to that cash?
Typically, you're not going to see many refund checks, okay? That's just the way that carriers work, unfortunately. I've been doing this for a while now, and I can tell you I think I've seen one refund check issued. So you want to get as close as possible to an accurate estimate. But what I tell the people that I'm on the phone with, hey, it's a new business. I don't know what I'm going to make this year. My simple answer is give me your best guess. But here's the deal. In 6 months from now, if you've surpassed this number, we need to be having a conversation because we need to adjust for it or you need to start saving because at the end of the year when you're audited, you're going to get a big bill. So we have to adjust for that one way or the other.
As an agent at Texas Select, do you help remind me on that, or is that on the 6-month check-in kind of thing? Or
so we send out reminders throughout the year. We're really top-notch communicators over at Texas Select Insurance. So that's something I can help remind you of. But I would like you to keep an eye on it as well because you know your sales better than I do. I have no way of having a looking glass to see how your business is going through the first year. And we've had some real surprises over the years. Somebody that thought they were going to do 200 in sales and they ended up doing $1 million in sales. Those first years are very hard to predict. Constant communication with your agent is of vital importance in that instance.
Let's say that to fill out the audit, it comes back $10,000 in premium more, and I think they got it wrong. What can I do? What is my recourse?
So I think the easy answer for that is auditors can make mistakes just like you and I can, right? We try not to. That's our goal. But In the instance where something's wrong, Texas Select agents are there to advocate for you. We have an amazing service team that's really going to work on your behalf. They're going to go back and make sure that we don't have any misclassification of any of your trade codes, any clerical errors. And we can always ask them to reopen that audit to fix those errors. We can advocate for you by sending in your sales reports, your profit and your loss statements. Anything we can do to help you on your behalf, we're going to do that within reason, as long as it's correct.
Yes, correct. Hey, Stacey, if a business owner is planning to double my revenue this year and we get through 6 months and I'm looking at the forecast and I'm like, man, it's been a banger year, at what point should I call you?
I like to tell my customers a good midterm 6-month check-in, especially for new businesses or an instance where you've had a huge growth season, is always a good idea. Let's have a 6-month check-in and let's check those numbers on the books. And if it looks like we're going to be double our estimate, let's go back to the underwriter and say, hey, we're ahead of our forecasts on sales. They can make midterm adjustments to that policy. Or we can start preparing for an audit ahead of time because we know that you guys are going to have a pay-in at the end of the year because we've doubled the estimated sales.
Sounds like that would definitely improve my cash flow at the end of the year because I can't afford to come up with a $10,000 or $20,000 audit premium right there. And let's say I did. Let's say I have this banger year. I didn't call my agent and tell them about it. And now I've got this $10,000 audit bill. How long do I usually have to pay that?
The simple answer to that's usually about 60 days for most carriers. Every carrier can be different, right? They all have their own set of rules that they got to follow. The easiest thing to do, again, would be that midterm check-in. Let's plan ahead. One reason being is we can add premium to your premium finance agreement so that it's spread out over several months versus having to come up with $10,000 or $20,000 at the end of the year when you're trying to get ready to renew a brand new policy for the year and have to have a premium down payment as well. So always good idea to have that midterm check-in with your agent.
The goal of the audit is not to punish you for succeeding. It's to make sure you paid for the risk you actually took. But you should never pay a penny more than you actually owe. If you've received an audit bill that looks wrong, or if you are hiding subs and are not sure if you're collecting the right paperwork, send us a message. We can review your audit worksheets and make sure the carrier did not misclassify your work. Subscribe to the channel for more tips on protecting your profit, and we'll see you in the next video.